that okay, please? Can we go on?
Yes, yes, it is. We can go.
All right. Paraventure, you have one technical person in your team who do I sabi, and because of I know it too much, there was now a delay on the critical part. Probably because it did not understand the scope of work. Probably because he could not finish the task on time. Probably because maybe some emergency occurred that he needed to pay attention to, and that made him or her not to finish the activities on the critical part. Then, what then can the project manager do to still be able to deliver on fulfilling the project promises is what we refer to as project schedule compression. So project schedule compression is now a trick or a technique used by the project manager when he finds himself in the situation that the activities on the critical part alone has been compromised. That activity that's supposed to take 5 days is now taking 7 days, and if they have not finished it, it will still take extra 2 days to finish, and it will affect the entire project. What can I still do to make sure that my customer or my project sponsor still smile at me at the end of the project? Then schedule compression technique comes in. And what are the different schedule compression techniques? We have crashing, fast tracking, reduce scope, and cut quality. What is crashing? Things I would like you to note here is the implication. The implication of crashing, take note, is that it brings more or additional resources or additional costs. Let me not speak too much English. It brings more additional costs, or better still, it increases the cost. That is what crashing. Example of crashing is, oh, you are working on a project and somebody, because of incompetence, is now delaying that project or that particular activities that they are working on. Example, we are clearing the land, and you now discover that the person that is clearing the land is taking too much time, and that will affect the completion time of the project. What do? You know, say, okay, instead of this one person clearing this land, and we planned that he will clear it for 5 days, because this is the fourth day now, he's not done yet. He's still there, and he's not likely to complete it in the next 3 days. So you now decide to get extra 4 people to quickly come join him to clear the land. You discover that that extra 4 people you are bringing aboard will cost you additional resources. Hence the need we discuss crashing. So crashing is that scheduled compression technique that is used to still be able to meet up with the project schedule, but in this context, it add more resources to your project. Okay, so those activities on the those activities that needs to be completed on the critical part, it add more resources. That is clear. Fast tracking is the technique you use that, oh, we have agreed that we want to use a dependency of finish to start. So we're going to follow all the tasks in a sequence of finish to start. Then you now discover that, oh, the way this thing is going, we need to do everything parallel. That becomes what? Fast tracking. So fast tracking is that task you need to do in serial or following a defined pattern. Then in this case, you now do them in parallel to achieve results. But take note, fast tracking often results in rework and increased risk. You are fast tracking. It can result in rework or it can increase risk. That is fast tracking. Then we have reduced scope and cut quality. Reduced scope and cut quality are the last resort option that you should consider as a project manager when you are compressing a schedule. And the problem with this option is that there is no way your final customer or your sponsor will be satisfied and happy with the end result of the project. Why? Because reduced scope as a sound. You have 10 activities you have defined. You now decide because of time, you now remove 4. You cannot finish it. You now call the customer and say, sir, sorry, we cannot finish this work. Is not even, no customer will agree that self. But it still happen. They negotiate their way out. It's called what? Reduce scope or cut quality. So either of these two options is the last resort. Please take note. And the consequence of these two options is that customer dissatisfaction. All right. Customer dissatisfaction. Are we good to go, please? Is that clear? Schedule compression techniques. Hello, is it clear?
Yes,
Clear.
bro.
All right.
Yes, bro.
Lola, is it clear?
Yes.
All right. Then you can also see on the screen the Gantt chart, the milestone chart, and the network diagram. All right. You know, when we discuss schedule, you know, in our recent time, we have different software applications that can be used to manage your schedule for a project, to keep track or the timeline for your project. We have Primavera, we have Microsoft Teams, we have different softwares. Even now, you have Jira, you have Gantt Pro, you have Teamwork, you have Monday, you have different project management tools. And you see that in these different project management tools, their core is scheduling your activities very well. So Gantt chart, take note, for the purpose of exam, is used effectively to communicate with your team members. Milestone chart is used to communicate with management and project sponsor. Example, your project sponsor calls you and say, okay, can you give me a report of the progress you have made so far on your task on this project you are working on? If you go and show him a Gantt chart, he may not understand because the Gantt chart contains all the series of activities that needs to be done. But a milestone or a milestone chart only shows you what has been completed. So it is better to use a milestone chart to report to the customer, oh, foundation has been completed, block work has been completed, but now we are currently working on the litter to do the roofing. But if you now bring all the series of activities in the Gantt chart that contains the foundation, how you cleared, all the activities you did to clear, it did not concern them. It's headache to them. That's not their business. But what they want to see is your progress report. So the milestone chart becomes a very good reporting tool to management. Then while the network diagram is definitely, as we have said earlier, it shows the logical sequence of all your project tasks. Hope that is clear. Then finally, you have been able to define your activities, you have been able to sequence them, you have been able to estimate the duration, and you have gotten an approved schedule baseline, and now monitoring and controlling must take place because execution has started. So control schedule, as I told you, is that process of actually measuring the status of the work that have been completed by checking the schedule baseline. And I told you, how do you do this? Is by simply checking the current schedule with the actual schedule. Which means the current schedule is now, okay, now that we are executing, what are the work performance data from the current schedule as regard to the planned performance data that we planned for schedule. So you're going to compare it. Oh, we planned 4 days. Now, okay, in this task, how many days are we using already? And looking at the number of days left, are we going to finish the task with the number of days left? That is control schedule. And that is why it is expected at this point, the project manager stand his ground in ensuring that the schedule is properly followed. Is that clear? Is that okay? So you can see that control schedule is actually done by the project manager, because at this point, the project manager may most likely recognize some variances, deviation. Oh, this is what the number of days we plan to use for this task. We are in the 4th day, but you are not 20% completed, and you still have 80% work yet undone, but we have few days left to complete this task. What can we do? That is where the project manager will be thinking of either taking a corrective action, a preventive action, or a defect repair action. That is what the summary of control schedule. So what do we want to achieve when we are controlling our schedule? You see, work performance information. From where? The analysis you have done with the work performance data. And probably a schedule forecast of the number of work yet undone. And this schedule forecast will now determine if you're going to make change requests to get people to achieve your forecast. And all other necessary documents will be updated. That is the project schedule, control schedule for your project. Any questions so far? Any question on schedule?
No question from me.
Okay. All right. I think that is the end of the class. Um, I think that is the end of the class since there is no question. Godwin, any question too? Okay. All right. Thank you for your time. Um, Tomorrow we'll have a review of what we have done personally as regard our studies plan. Um, Lola, I didn't see you complete the quiz for last week. Okay, and I discovered that Godwin and Wale, what happened? Your scores was it that it's difficult? All right. So, Lola, you said you'll be sending in your scores, right? So I'll be looking forward to it. Please, I want to beg you, just do all this assignment. Let's follow through all this process. You will understand later better when you've completed all this process. It's very important. All right. It's very important. Please, please, I beg you. Thank you very much. So have a wonderful day. See you tomorrow. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, bye.